I go to movies because sometimes I hear they're good. So I want to go see it. I don't care if it's fucking gay people or fucking straight people or it's an alien fucking another alien or it's Howard the Duck fucking Leia Thompson. I don't give a shit. I'll just go see the movie. I'm like, that's all I care
Yep.
about is the movie's good.
All right, so this is one that I don't have as much as far as the movie itself. I don't have a lot to say because I haven't seen it, but I know you have, and that would be Bros. New movie
Yeah.
came out last week, I believe it was. Billy Eschner, is that how you say his name?
No, Billy Eichner.
Eichner, okay.
Just call him Timon. We'll just go with that.
Okay. Well, Billy
No,
Eichner.
yeah, Billy Eichner. Yeah,
Had this new Bros movie. It was a LGBTQ, I guess a rom-com is what I'm hearing.
yeah. It was like they're calling it the first gay rom-com to be produced by a major studio, which I don't know what that means, but sure.
Well, that's
Yeah.
part of the problem, and I don't mean that what you think. Let me finish real quick, because we're not going to talk about the movie so much and whether it's good. I mean, I'm going to ask you that in a minute, but we're going to talk about that Bros is apparently a box office bomb. But why? Why did it bomb? Well, Billy Eichner's Universal-backed comedy Bros flopped at the box office during its opening weekend with a $4.8 million bow over the weekend, about half of the $8 to $10 million the studio had projected. $4.8 million for a new movie, a major studio-backed movie, that's low. That's real low.
Not good.
Now,
Not good
there's a
at all.
lot of reasons been thrown out there as to why that is, and I wanted to just touch on that to see, what we thought. Now, if you asked Eichner, he went on a now viral tweet or rant. I don't know if it was a rant. It's not really a rant. They labeled it a rant. I mean, the verbiage in it doesn't come across as a rant, but he had a take. He had his view as to why it didn't make it. And he said on Twitter, even with glowing reviews, great Rotten Tomatoes score, and a cinema score, etc., straight people, especially in certain parts of the country, just didn't show up for Bros. Eichner wrote, and that's disappointing, but it is what it is. Now, so a lot of people are saying that pretty much straight people didn't want to see this movie, and that's what killed it. I mean, before I get into this next part, maybe? I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say that that's totally true, but I mean, yeah, you made a movie that is very specific. And I mean, I guess one could say that, well, movies that are about a man and a woman romance comedy, they're very specific. But the fact of the matter is, and I am not like putting anyone down, I don't care what people do or what your sexual preferences are. But the fact of the matter is, the majority, the vast majority out there are straight or whatever you want to label them. So, yeah, obviously there are going to be more movies that pander, if you will, or that focus on that relationship. When you release a movie that is not the majority, it's probably going to be lower. There's going to be less people that are interested in seeing that relationship. I mean, I get it. I didn't have a problem with seeing the movie. It wasn't one I was going to go see in theaters. I'd probably see it when it came home at some point. I'd heard that the movie was funny, and it may be. I'll ask you here in a minute, but I get that, a lot of straight people, I don't even think it's a homophobic thing. And sure, there are homophobes out there, and there's probably a homophobic sect around the film as well. But I mean, just some people just that aren't, because the movie, at least, and we'll talk about why in just a minute, probably didn't go to see it because they said, oh, well, that's a movie that's very centered on that. So I get it. I get why, why do I don't want to go see it because that's not my world. Now, Eichner is correct that some straight moviegoers weren't interested in the material, surely. However, according to this report, the $4.8 million opening for Bros is so low that it also means many LGBTQ viewers didn't show up to see the comedy in theaters either. And that's what got me to thinking. And you go to look, and apparently, according to these reports, the marketing prioritized the film's importance over the film's comedy. And that is something that really stuck with me. There's been lots of reasons given as to why the movie hasn't done well or isn't doing well. And this is the one that struck with me the most. The press release for the movie called it one of the first romantic comedies for a major studio to feature an almost entirely LGBTQIA plus cast. TV spots for Bros prioritized a pull quote calling the film as hilarious as it is historic. I think this is where the movie fucked up. I don't think it's the movie. The movie could be amazing. I think it was the marketing for the movie. I think that they were more interested in pushing, saying, "Oh, it's this, it's that, it's this," instead of saying, "It's a really fucking funny movie. It's a comedy. Come see the comedy." Because anybody can enjoy comedy, regardless of what the movie's about. I think they should have leaned more into the comedy side of things, not into the LGBTQ side of things. Nothing against all that. I think that's great. But I think that when you lean too much into that in everything talking about the movie, even people that are part of that community start to say, I don't want to, they start to think it's a message movie. And even that, not everybody wants to go see a message movie. They're like, I don't want to go see a message movie. I just want to see a funny movie. I don't know. What do you think? And you've seen the movie. What's your brief synopsis of it? What do you think?
It's a movie about people that live in a world. I mean, it could be anybody, but it's about people who live in a world that is very discriminatory towards, their lifestyle. And the thing that also kind of hampers it a little bit is how people view Billy Eichner as an individual. Some people find his humor very harsh and very kind of difficult to command. My thing about Bros that I really enjoyed about it is just a funny movie. It's an enjoyable movie. It is willing to poke fun at itself, especially the gay community, which can be really hypocritical sometimes. And I know this for a fact because I know people who are gay who, have interesting views on the world, and I appreciate it, and I respect, whatever you do. But it's a movie that really is trying to not only be funny, but also be serious and sincere in its portrayal. Because the thing that I really love about this movie is Eichner, the main guy he ends up dating in this movie, is a guy that was in Hallmark Channel movies, and then some of the people who he has a supporting cast are people that you've never heard of before that he's brought in because he wants authentic characters. I just think I know this is gonna sound like I'm a little woke and a little leftist and stuff like that. I just don't think people are ready to see a gay comedy like this. Like when you think of a movie like this, like it's an actual realistic comedy. Yes, it does go above and beyond some of the things, but it's pretty realistic. This isn't the Birdcage. This isn't La Cage off Law or whatever that French or British comedy series was. This is a series about real people trying to make a difference, and I don't think people are comfortable with that. That's just how I view it, and I appreciate it because I think, as uncomfortable as the movie can get sometimes with some of the, the sex content and stuff like that, I just think it's a movie about people that are trying. It's like when they put movies about Black Americans out there and stuff like that, or they put movies about Asian Americans out there, and then all these movies, and people either really respond or don't respond. It's just because people are not comfortable with the idea of gay individuals. It's just how it works. And unfortunately, I also had to go up against Smile, which was also a great movie in its own right. But it's the unfortunate nature. Billy Eichner is he's very push forward, like somebody like, Russell Brand or who's that British guy, the one that hosted the Golden Globes, Ricky Gervais. Yeah. I keep hearing about this guy Andrew Tate as well. These are people that push the boundaries and are willing to push the envelope, and they're also people with a lot of emotional heart and resonance to what they do. And it's interesting watching this movie because it is it is an LGBTQA movie or whatever you want to call it. It is what it is, but it's I don't think people are really responding to that. They don't want to watch a movie like that because a lot of people in America are homophobic. I mean, you can say we can sit here and discuss the whole situation, but there is a stigma right now, especially in America, where people just don't want to see this kind of content. We're trying to head ourselves back to the 50s where people are scared. I'm not calling out anybody in particular. That's what I feel, and that's what it feels like with this movie, because this movie should have been, like Bridesmaids or something like that. It should have been a home run, and it unfortunately isn't, and it's just one of those films that I think will find an audience for the people that are still, in the closet, that are afraid to come out and afraid to have like people, hit like hurt them and stuff like that. And this movie will have a pretty strong, viewing when it comes to the VOD market, but it's just is what it is, unfortunately. So that's how I look at it. I'm not saying that if you're not comfortable with this, you're fine. But when you look at a movie like this, you look at, two gay people, it is what it is. Like, they're not hurting anybody. They're making jokes. They're actually, this movie full on Billy Eichner makes fun of every single stereotype when it comes to gay characters throughout the entire movie, and it's fucking hilarious. And I don't know. I find it funny, but I understand people don't. It's just the unfortunate, it is what it is. It's our freedom of speech in the world to say what we will. And you and I, have gone back and forth on stuff we don't agree with, but I don't hate you for your opinions. You don't hate me for my opinions. And it is what it is. But it's just, it's the kind of movie it is. It's not willing to hold back on what it's trying to do. So,
well, I agree with you. I think the movie is going to do. This seems like a movie that's going to do really well in streaming. I think this movie is going to have legs after the fact. Like, its theater run, obviously. I mean, I couldn't have predicted it, but I mean, I'm not super surprised by this, especially releasing it right now, releasing a rom-com regardless of what its subject matter is.
Yeah.
In spooky season, in Halloween, and it's going up against Smile, which is a scary movie, a horror movie, in October, or I guess it came out technically in September, but it's still that time of year when you're releasing horror movies. That just seems, that seems like an odd choice to me.
Yeah, it is. It's weird. I think the problem is it's right before Halloween too. I think if it were released in like February or something like that, that may have been a better month.
Yeah, that was
because it's a romantic comedy. Yeah, it's a romantic comedy with, really over the top humor. It's very much in that Bridesmaids camp where it's just they're willing to go to levels that make it funny. I mean, it's produced by Judd Apatow, so I mean,
it's a raunchy, like a raunchy.
Oh, it's
comedy,
fucking
right?
raunchy as shit. There is points where they're going like all at it, and so it's pretty funny though. But
well, I heard the movie was good. I heard it was really funny. I think it'll probably. I do think it'll be. I mean, hell, I said I was going to watch it came to VOD, but that's. I mean, closest theater to me is 45 minutes away, so I didn't.
Yeah, no,
I don't go to like every single. I can't just go down the street, So I had planned on seeing it then. I think the movie will do better when it comes to VOD and home markets and stuff like that. But
yeah, it'll be on like Peacock or whatever. So
yeah, and I am with you. I do think that there is a sect of people that did go see the movie for differing reasons. I mean, yes, I do agree. There are plenty of homophobic people in the world and in America, for sure. And some of them definitely are. They're not going to see this movie. They never were going to see this movie. So, hey, whatever.
I mean, well, to be fairly honest, if I heard this movie was funny at all, like I heard through like the different film festivals it premiered at, I wouldn't have watched it. I mean, I go to movies because sometimes I hear they're good. So I want to go see it. I don't care if it's fucking gay people or fucking straight people, or it's an alien fucking another alien, or it's, Howard the Duck fucking Leia Thompson. I don't give a shit. I'll just go see the movie. I'm like, that's all I care about is the movie's good.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't give a shit that it was about gay people or not. I heard it was, like you said, I heard it was funny. That was after it came out, and then after hearing this, I'm like, well, it'll be home to see real soon, probably.
Yeah.
But I do think after reading this report, that was, by the way, this article I was getting all this information for was all about the movie. They were saying, you can go see this movie, it's great. But I do agree, they had some very compelling arguments about all the, besides the people that just aren't going to see it regardless. I do think that it's marketing, because if you look at its marketing, it doesn't even talk about the comedy as much. It says it's a comedy, but it really pushes home the whole, this is the first LGBTQ thing, the first, like it's trying to like a message. And I don't think the movie's a message movie from what I've heard. It's just a romantic comedy. It just so happens to be, two homosexual men instead of, a man and a woman. I think if they just leaned into the funny part, if they had marketed this like any other rom-com, not hidden the fact, I'm not saying hide it, but just marketed it like a regular rom-com, I think it would have done better. Do I think this would have been, you mentioned Bridesmaids, I don't think it would have been as big as Bridesmaids, because the fact of the matter is, given the population of the world, there's more people that will identify, if you will, with that. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. It is what it is. I mean, there are some people that are hateful about it, and there's some people who are just like, oh, that's not my world, and that's fine. That's fair. But I do think
I'm just, I was gonna say I'm one of those people that goes, why do we even have to be at a point right now where we go, this is the first gay big budget comedy
Exactly.
to ever come out? It's like, I don't care about that shit. I just want a good, I just want a good fucking movie. I hate that we're still at a point where we're so afraid to like, we can't just go, hey, it's a movie about gay people. Cool, I'm gonna go
or
see it.
just say
Maybe
it's
it'll
a
be funny.
fucking movie. I think they should have just said,
yeah, exactly.
hey, it's this movie. And don't even say, I mean, you don't have to say, I mean, I understand that the movie also, it does lean into that a lot. So, I mean, yeah, if you want to have some of those jokes in the trailer, fine. But even in the trailer, its marketing was just, it's like saying, look at us, look at what we are. It's like, no, look, we're a funny movie, we're a comedy, we're a rom-com. That's it. Go with that. I mean, and I think that the people that would be open to seeing that more, I think that they'd be more open to seeing that because they'd be like, hey, that looks funny. As it stands at times, I think now it looks like, I don't know if this will be funny or not, because all they're doing is talking about how it's the first big budget LGBTQ movie. That doesn't mean it's the first good big budget LGBTQ movie, you know? And if all you're doing is talking about that we're the first, and I don't hold that because the filmmakers typically don't do the marketing of these things, so I'm not holding it against them. It's Universal. They're just pushing it, trying to, get a portion of that crowd, get that crowd out. And that's not what they wanted to see because, hey, what do you know? That crowd, they don't want to be pandered to. They don't want you to just say, hey, look, we made a movie for you. No, they want to say, we made a good movie for you that anybody can enjoy, but hey, you recognize this world. And I think they should have leaned into that more, but I don't know. It looks like a funny movie, and I will see it when it comes soon. But hey, let us know. You guys let us know in the comments below what you think. Do you think Bros was a bomb because of just rampant homophobia? Do you think it was because of the marketing, a mixture of both? Do you think the movie's marketing was just shit? Or what do you think? Why do you think that the movie bombed? And give it some real thought. I mean, really like look into it and, don't go for the lowest hanging fruit. But I do think that I am with you. I think it's a mixture, honestly, me myself. I think it's a mixture of just a bunch of things, bad choices they made. And also the bad choices they made in the marketing, and also some of the people out there that are just like, wouldn't even give it a chance because of it. Which does make me, I know I was wrapping it up, but I will say, if they didn't lean into that so much in the marketing, would some of those people that aren't, that aren't like hardcore, like, oh, I'm against it, Bible thumpers and all that, would maybe some of those people been more open to going and seeing it if they felt like, oh, this isn't going to be like ramming something down my throat? Which I don't think the movie does. I think that's what the marketing does. I don't know. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think, but I do plan on seeing this movie eventually at some point.